A straight continuation from yesterday's episode when we dipped into the great state of Texas from New Mexico, more specifically Las Cruces, and we went into El Paso. We're heading directly east. I stopped right here, as you can see, just west of Austin, heading into Houston. This may be a shorter video. Again, just a quick recap, 518 megabytes for Texas. It is the biggest state, literally the biggest megabyte for a DLC. It was also more expensive. And our last one, which I think was it Montana? I can't think off the top of my head. The last DLC that we got there was, only about 200 and something megabytes. And that tends to be the average somewhat for some of the DLCs there. So let's get right into it. I mean, the truck was stopped, all the lights were off and everything, and that's what happens when you quit the game and you save. So yeah, here we go. It's nighttime in Texas. I got rid of the thingamathing, the speed limiter. And I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm recapping again in case you didn't see yesterday's video, which most YouTubers would go, you should go and check it out. I'll have a link down below. Shut up. This one's just as good, if not better, than the last one, because now we're right in Texas. I mean, you can't really tell it's Texas because it's so damn dark, but that's okay. I got rid of the speed limiter, and I wish that there was a button that we could toggle it on and off, as well as with a custom slider to allow us to change what that speed is. Because the max in kilometers, I can't do miles, I'm sorry. Come on, states, pick it up. You got the best military in the world, biggest superpower, but you're stuck on that shit with the miles and the Fahrenheit. God damn. Anyways, enough about that. What was I gonna say now? Yeah, I might as well do the high beams. Maybe not. What was I gonna say? I forget. See, that's what happens when I get distracted. Oh, the speed limiter. There are some places in the States that you can go 80 miles an hour, which is 128 kilometers an hour. But when you have the limiter on, you can only go 105. So it doesn't even take into account the speed limit of the area that you're in. One way is I wish there was a smart speed limit, if that makes it even 75 miles an hour, okay? Is like 118, 119 kilometers an hour. This is like realistic. Because that extra kilometer pacing makes a big difference. Anyhow, those are just some of the little things I wish that could be changed in the game. I also wish we could have interior lights like you have on a bus, so we can kind of see a little bit better. But that's okay. So I've literally, physically found a way to move my pedal to make it so that it's more comfortable when I'm stomping the gas all the way, but also if I want to release the gas. And it's kind of putting my foot on an angle, if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm not going to show you. There's nothing exciting about that. Plus, I don't want to get all the foot fetish people aroused. We don't want to get into that. That's for a different kind of video entirely. But yeah, I essentially have it so that it's just hard to explain. But I almost have my foot sort of like resting, like my right foot, obviously, on the gas pedal. So my right foot is resting on my Logitech G29's pedal board thing. Sort of like on the right side of the foot, right? With my heel completely down. That allows me to not have to physically, literally, jump my leg up and down when I'm pushing on the gas in such a way that my shins and my quads don't cramp up, because I walk a lot, and when I work out, I do a lot of squats. Like, I do not skip leg day. I probably do double legs, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes when I play this game, it's actually physically challenging, literally, to play this game. So now I found, and as a result, it was just easier for me to rest my foot on the pedal and flatline that bastard all the way to 153 kilometers an hour. Like 100 miles an hour. 96 miles an hour. But let's not get too technical, okay? I gotta talk more kilometers, unfortunately, because that's just what my country does and 99.9% of the rest of the world. At least I think. I do find that interesting, though. So now we're 70. We're definitely speeding. But I don't really care. It's still a realistic speed that you can actually go in some places. But yeah, it was a lot more fun. But being capped at like 70 miles, 67 miles an hour wasn't really floating for me. Wasn't doing it, floating, whatever. I was going to say whatever floats your boat, but in this instance, it's whatever rocks your truck. I don't know. These random events, again, they're random. They're not always there. Sometimes I cut through it. Should I do it? Should I try and cut through? But first, let's pause for a moment. 105 kilometers an hour divided by 1.6. Yeah, it's 65 miles an hour. So 60 half. Oh my God, 65 and a half miles an hour is the maximum speed that you can get under any circumstance when you have the speed limiter on. Oh boy, can we do it? Can we do it? Car blew up. Whatever. Just another day in Texas. I'm just kidding. Calm down now. Let's not get too excited. It's, again. See what I did there? Look at the mirror. Top left. Top left. Work with me. I squeezed through. The police ignored me. Because they know their role, partially. Now, what can happen with an event when you do something like this, you normally actually don't want to do what I did. Sometimes you'll hit an invisible wall. At least that happened a long time ago when I first started playing the game. I was like, haha, I'll show them. Trying to tell me I got to take a detour. I'm going right through. There's enough room. There's nothing going on here. And then ba-bump. And I was like, what the hell is that? So it's pretty funny. At least I think it is. But as we can see here, it appears that all is well. Oh, and if the traffic seems a little bit low or whatever, I changed some parameters in the files and I made it so that there's literally only half the amount of traffic. Probably not realistic, but I'm trying to have it so that we have the population of the 1800s. No, obviously in the last 40 years the world population's doubled. So this is like we're cruising around, if you will, in the mid-70s, early 80s, in terms of population, if that makes any sense. Look at that, eh? It's just beautiful. Love it. It's just so peaceful. I don't want to get distracted and end up flipping the truck. Lord only knows I've done that a few times and it hasn't always been caught on camera. But yeah, I do love driving at night. In the game, that is, not in real life. Well, I mean, maybe a little bit. It depends if I'm out in the country, which I'm very close to. Then it's not nearly as bad. But you see here now that we're cranking it up in the 90 miles. We are speeding a little bit, nothing too wild. I can promise you this is realistic because this definitely does happen. It feels good. I miss having the speed limiter off. However, like I mentioned yesterday, if I could have it my way, I would probably cap myself at 130 kilometers. If I could. I really, really would. I feel like that's really a good number. And if you're curious, that's 81 0.25 miles an hour, okay? We'll just round it down and say 80 miles an hour. That, to me, is a pretty good number for a cap. And I did mention that I would look into a mod. I don't like mods. The only mod I have, by the way, in this game, I like to run things pretty normal without mucking things up potentially, is my side mirrors. You'll notice that my side mirrors are actually flush against the corner rather than having like a bit of a gap around the mirrors. I don't really consider that a mod, as well as the thing at the bottom where the bar's all the way straight instead of it being the square there, you know, where it says how much money I got and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I don't really consider those mods. You can bypass excuse me, you can bypass the nearby wait station. Have a safe journey. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the wait, so they don't care. They're not gonna fat shame my truck. They're just gonna let me pass on through. I gotta admit, I was kind of hoping that so far I would have been there by now, but I'm not. Did they say construction zone? Remember, we're in Texas. We make our own rules. We don't let the government dictate how we're gonna live. Yeah, right here, right at this speed right here. I really got to look into that. Actually, if I was able to manipulate the traffic density, right? Because you can manipulate the pedestrian density, I believe, but not the traffic within the game, which I feel is kind of ridiculous, seeing as the probability of rain and all these other technical things that you can manipulate. That's not one of them, and that's a huge part of the game, is the traffic. I'm surprised that they don't adjust or allow us to adjust with a slider the limit that the speed limiter is going to impose. That really, really does surprise me quite a bit. I was actually shocked when I first looked at it. I was like, really? I can't change this to what I want? Uh-oh. A lot of cops and sirens in Texas. And these kind of big, wacky-ass bridges and all that, we just don't have that in Canada. What a cluster that is. But you see how you hear the you can hear the sirens. I don't recall that in any other state in this game ever hearing that. So I don't know if that's like a new thing they added. I don't know. I'm just sharing with you some of the mild observations I've made playing the game and this DLC. We should be there soon. I'm naturally going to take the easy way out. My challenge is sometimes picking up the trailer. Right? Like I have to position yourself and try not to put it in third person mode. I have done the hard... whatchamacallit? Parking. Once I recorded a gameplay footage, it was like, let's say, I don't know, 45 minutes. Right? 45-minute gameplay. And half of that gameplay was just me trying to park the fucking trailer. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see that. So I just say, you know what? Piss on it. We just keep it simple. I wish I could have slept, honestly, to skip it so you can actually properly see, you know, what this place looks like during the day. Probably can't tell the difference between Africa and Texas at night. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean? Because it's so damn dark, can't really see. So in some ways, in many ways, this does not really depict Texas all that well. But it's still some lovely gameplay. least I think so. And also the overall performance. My computer, sure, it's a little beefy, but nothing crazy. My computer's not even worth mentioning the specs. Like, ooh, look what he's rocking. It's really not that spectacular. Now that turn, I probably shouldn't have taken it that big, but I did. And in some states, they allow you to kind of go a little bit into the incoming lane there so that you can make your turn properly. And in some other states, I know this because my friend's a trucker in the good old US of A. You'll get a fine in some instances. So even like here, turning in, it's almost like some states are like, too bad, figure it out. And they would not allow for something like this, for example. Because physics-wise, it just makes more sense to do this. It's just so much simpler. I mean, you don't always need to do it this dramatically. Yeah, see? Press enter to deliver. Now, there's the, whatchamacallit, where do you need it? And then there's the let's play it safe. Maybe I'll do a let's play it safe. Just, for the fun of it. Just to add a little realism to the mix. We definitely don't want to plow into that car. Using my mouse there to look around, I don't have a gory, tory, whatever that head eye tracking thing is, which seems pretty cool. Now, in some instances, when you do hard, they'll want you to back the trailer in there. I'm like, are you kidding me? And you'd have to wedge it. But I'm not doing that. Take me until next Christmas to get it done. To skip the parking, the trailer, and complete the delivery, you'll miss the precise parking bonus point. You can press enter. Well, calm down. We'll get there in a moment. We'll sort of do it, half-assed there, like that. That seems pretty good to me. Overall, the entire trip, I think we were supposed to make... Yeah, I was gonna say, I made 100 grand in that. Now, if you care about knowing about how accurate my money is and my level, it's not really. Like I said, what happened before is I lost my save. I was playing legit, and then I started playing with Wiimod Trainer to give myself more levels and all that because I had lost, oh boy, I want to say close to maybe 120 hours of gameplay. And then on a second time, I lost about 40 or 50 hours of gameplay. So in total, between 150 and 200 hours of gameplay I've lost, and that didn't even get recorded on Steam for whatever reason. I might have been playing offline without internet. I don't know, because at that point, it won't track. So this one's not like legit in that sense, but I don't think anybody gives a shit, really. Now I'm playing legit, right? So, all right, so we'll do that. Let's look at our world map. We are going to wrap things up slowly. I was going to say where I'm confused is like, why are there breaks in the yellow line, where you could see where I've driven. Let's take a look over here. Anywhere I've been, there isn't. There kind of is. I didn't really notice that before. If I zoom right in. Oh, I see. It's almost like the anti-aliasing of it where there's the smaller sections. It looks like it's broken. Anyways, we're in Houston. I'm kind of tempted to go to Dallas, but before I do that, I would... What the hell was... Oh, boy. There we go. Before I do that, I have to back out, turn... Yeah, that's going to confuse the hell out of me. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all that and begin with where do I actually want to physically go? And that would be here. Let's go here first. I was kind of tempted to switch trucks as well. I don't know. I don't know. I am kind of tempted to do that, honestly. Shit. I mean, I love this truck, the International 9900i. It's one of the newer trucks, at least from what I remember. I almost don't even remember how to switch trucks. Truck Manager. That makes it pretty simple there. Let's look at by kilometers driven. Oh, we're catching up. There's my International. Yeah, 9900i. There's my big bad boy, Kenworth W900. This one's up there only because I have a worker that uses that one. Might have to assign a few of the other ones to a couple more people. I think I only got 2 people working for me right now. Yeah, and some of the other ones I just don't like necessarily the interior or the half-ass, windshield window tint, and it kind of drives me crazy. See, this one here, apparently I haven't even driven the truck at all. Well, you know what? Let's get into it. Let's not drive it, but let's pretend like we're going to upgrade it, and I'll share with you what I'm talking about. So when we get inside, it does not appear this one has it, which is good. So when you look here at the windshield, you'll notice that it's just like it's clear. But every interior naturally is going to be a little bit different. Now let me try and show you a truck I'm talking about. Is it this one? It might be the Vault. No, I don't remember. Was it this one? Let's go to upgrade. Ah, you see? So this truck, I like it, but if you look, you can even see the faint line. This is where it is right here. And up, it's all tinted. And you can't get rid of that. So I find it distracting. My OCD takes over and I just can't get over it, and it drives me absolutely batshit crazy. So I can't do it. Whereas the irony is, for a truck like this, it actually has one of the worst, what's the word I'm looking for? Viewable area, because the windshield is kind of like, not as big from an up and down perspective. The hood is bigger. There's like a rating, and this is actually one of the worst ones, but it doesn't drive me crazy because the top of the window isn't tinted. So, okay. Yeah, so I think for me, I know this is very slow here, and I'm just rambling on about nothing. I think I'm just going to stick with what I've got for now. Just because it makes it easier. I don't know where I'm going to end up. If I switch trucks, am I going to be able to fast travel to where I want to go? Right now, I just kind of want to... Seriously? Like, you couldn't... I thought it was pretty obvious I was here. I was signaling and everything. They're a little bit dumb, but at the same time, when you watch them do their thing, they're actually not all that horrible. Really. It's quite whoops. It's quite shocking, actually, how decent they are. Little Seriously? Was that even the same truck? It hit me so hard I lost 3 frames per second. Momentarily. Now we're just going to go wild. I don't care about stop signs or any of that. I just want to go, sleep, repair, and do a little driving during the day, because this is a really great truck. This is actually one of my favorite ones, which is probably why it's got the second most kilometers out of all the trucks I've driven, which I like how you could see that history. By the way, I wanted to mention, which is a huge thing. Huge. Excuse me. assets that are missing when you delete a DLC. So I had one where there was like a woman sitting right there, and she had a laptop and had a box of pizza and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what? It's time to drop her off. So I deleted the DLC. I didn't uninstall it or whatever. I just said, yeah, I don't need this shit. I deleted it, got rid of it, or it got updated, couldn't find it, something or another. And this is confusing here. Is this where I need to go? It's kind of like a very awkward thing here. Why does it... Oh, boy. Anyways, and basically I couldn't play the game anymore. Oh, that's not bringing me to where I want to go. Oh, I see what it did. I don't see what it did. Whatever. And then it glitched my game. Because it was like, where is she? Where'd she go? She took off. So the game wouldn't load. Then at one point I had a Canadian add-on. It was a big part of British Columbia. You know, that part that's just directly north of California. They share a border. That got an update. The game got an update. Wasn't compatible. Game wouldn't load. Because it's looking for those files. Now there's like some sort of smart system where it understands if something's missing to bring back the original assets to basically make the game playable. And I think that's really cool. Why do I have a feeling like I'm going in the wrong... Oh, no, I'm not. So it's much safer now to have wonky add-ons and you deleting add-ons. But because of how many hours of gameplay I've lost, I just choose to, like I said, keep it very, very, very minimalistic. Yeah, that's okay. I was going too fast. Maybe I need the speed limiter after all. I had an itch on my face, looked away for a moment, kabang. And that's literally what happens in the real world. Not with me. I just mean in general. Just thought I'd clarify that. Now, why is my insurance premiums are going to go up on a car I don't even know? So we'll come in here. The truck dealer is closed. Oh. Okay. Never would have thought. Meanwhile, Bucko is standing outside. I hope that word didn't get canceled. That was something you used to be able to say before. There's a lot of things you used to be able to say now that if you say, it's like, oh boy, did he just say that? I hope that's not one of those canceled words, but I've never heard anybody really use that word before. There's either a good reason for that or there isn't. Okay, so we've repaired that. We'll back out of that. And yeah, I think we're just going to sleep. I mean, not literally. I mean, in the game, right? Just don't want you thinking, what? He's just going to pass out on us? Okay. A lot of cops, I'm telling you, in Texas. Is it really that what? Seriously? How much rain is there in Texas? What season is this? Hurricane season's over. Come on. There we go. Using my mirrors, can't really tell if there's anything behind me, and because I don't feel like... Aha! I don't always like driving like this. Honestly, I feel like it ruins the immersion a bit. But right now, I'm all about ruining it. I don't really care, to be honest. Is that a garage up ahead that we can purchase? I need to turn on my windshield wipers as soon as I remember. There we go. What button does it? Yeah, let's go take a peek at what that is. I believe... Yeah, I believe it's a house you can buy, like a garage there. Or it could be a business to hire. I don't know. I just know the more discoveries I do, the better. I mean, initially I couldn't even get a job in Texas because I hadn't even been to Texas. Generally, you don't need to have been there as a trucker, but in this game, to get a job, at least from there, you couldn't get it beforehand. Yeah, it looks like this is a place that we can buy, and then we can use it to switch trucks and all that kind of stuff. This garage is available for you to buy for $250,000. Well, first of all, let's take a look at where the hell we are. Do we really want to live in Houston? I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's a lovely place. Houston's one of those places like Austin, Houston, Laredo, Dallas. What's another one up here? Not really anything up there. Well, El Paso. Yeah, Carlsbad, sure. Yeah, I think we'll grab a place in Houston. Why not? Why not? I gotta watch the money, because 1.3 million, that does go by pretty quick. You really want to buy this garage? I do. And now when we look here... No, wrong button. And now when we look... Come on. We look here and we look at... Is it the garage purchase? It might be the garage manager. Yes. I don't like this one. I like the map view. Yeah, now when we come here and we look at it, I've got a 3 slot. It's good for 3 trucks. And then if we upgrade it, see, that's where it can get really expensive, because upgrading it twice could just allow me to pay for another one. Right? I feel like 3 trucks is definitely enough. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. I'm trying to think of what else to do, to be honest. I can't think. Right now, we're just going to save it. When I say clean, that was one of the times I restarted the game, and I didn't even have the mirrors mod. Like, I literally had absolutely nothing. And of course, I call most of my worlds the Matrix, because who knows, this world could be no more real than the one we're living in. I'm kidding. Calm down. What else to do? Can't really think of anything else to do. Did we want to start? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start looking for a job. But we're not going to do it. I'll save that for another video. Get hired? No. Earn money with my own truck. I usually don't like doing the one where you provide your own cargo. Or your own trailer, sorry. Because you don't get any of the cool jobs, I find. Austin. Yeah, let's do something, relatively-ish. Like, you're not going to get any of these. At least I never have. With my own cargo. A space container. That's kind of cool. And that would want us to go near Dallas, actually. So that might actually be a good trip. I get very visual with where things are going. I was like, well, I don't know if I like that. Gasoline. Yeah, these ones can be hard to drive. Plus, that's one hell of a drive. Holy macaroni. We're going to Colorado with that one. I like the ones where you got the wide load or the... I forget what it's called now. Some of the special ones there. I've completely lost the one that I wanted. Was it this one? It is. Yeah, so we'll slowly begin that process. Yeah, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. As long as nobody just magically bumps into me, we should be good. But yeah, I started my journey yesterday going into Texas, and it was raining. Need some sunny days, and I don't even have the rain probability on all that high either. Probably help. Oh, shit. Okay, that's confusing me now. There. Because I was using the mouse, the steering wheel. Too much eye-hand coordination going on at once. It's no good. I am tempted to see what that question mark is up ahead, to be honest. And the reason for that, it's a one-way. Should we do it? Yeah, we're gonna do it. The reason for that is sometimes you can get more jobs that way, right? Like job agencies and stuff like that. And I think that has to do with both hiring. Yeah, don't pay attention to how I'm driving. I just really want to unlock that question mark. Because that'll allow us to be able to get more jobs, I think. I don't know. I really don't know how that works. Yeah, see, you have discovered a recruitment agency. Here you... Damn it! Here you can hire more people to drive for you. Okay, I think that's all it does. I think the jobs don't get limited by what you've discovered. That's possible, I don't know. Anyhow. Nobody's coming. A little bit of crazy driving there. Well, that's not something you'd see often. Right there, that kind of whatever that was there. And I'm actually on the right side of the road. I've never seen a street like that in my life. Wow, that is really funky. So like where that white car is behind me, you go straight. And then you've got the traffic on my right coming in. But yet somehow, like you would think I'm going down the wrong way. But I'm not. Wow, I've never seen a road like that in my life. And I have traveled and driven to many places in my life. Never seen anything like it. And I'll bet you that that's realistic. The things you can learn sometimes. Man, it's foggy. It's not always foggy. Sometimes it's foggy, it's not raining, or it's raining, there's a little fog, a lot of fog. I'm telling you, the dynamic variables that are in this game is beyond what words in a dictionary can describe. Don't want to go too fast there. Got the gas station. Yeah. We could probably squeeze by him. Obviously, I would never do that in the real world. Come on now. I'm gonna have to look at the trailers later on my own. I think you can buy your own fuel trailers now. I know that they've added a lot of stuff like that, but that's been one of the reasons why I don't like doing jobs with my own trailer, because you're limited in what it is you can transport. I've never had my own trailer where I was asked to, you know, transport vehicles or a helicopter part or anything like that, or any of those extreme jobs there with the special police. Uh-oh. Escort cargo. Excuse me. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm having fun. Plus this is like 1976. I can't even just tell you how addicted to this game I am. Because I play all those other sim games on my console with a controller, which is really nice. But man, when I come back to the steering wheel, or just this game in general, it's like, wow, where have you been? And it's because I keep the steering wheel under my desk, and sometimes I'm just too lazy to pull it out. That's what he said. I had to. It's cringy, and that's what I do. I was gonna say, how long is this trip just to get the job? By the time I get there, the job's gonna be gone. And that actually does happen when you go to look for a job. Look at that fog, eh? God damn. That's one of the most intense fogs I've seen. Again, everything's bigger, thicker. Never mind, that sounded bad. It's like bigger because the fog is thick. Anyways. You knew what I meant. You chose to take it somewhere else. That's on you. But if we do look at jobs and I don't click on something that's near me, and I just do using my own truck, and I just do... Oh, see? Wind turbine. Ah, yeah. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Then you fast travel, you go to grab it, but the job expires in 5 hours, but it takes you longer than 5 hours to get there. Yeah, forget it. These are the jobs I was talking about, right? Like the wide ones, the huge constructions, and all that kind of stuff. And I think now you can sort by that. Sort by route length. Yeah. I just don't remember how to do it. Oh, I think it's in here. But this used to not work for me all that well when I used to do that one. See, are these considered high values? I think all of these are high values. So if I just click on high value, actually mine's considered a high value, just not necessarily like whatever that thing is. Heavy cargo, maybe? Maybe that's why. Bear with me here. Yeah, see if I do heavy cargo, then it's got all that stuff there at the top. Oh. Well, whatever. You get the idea. It seems to actually be working pretty decently. And then from here, I could just click it, see where that job is. Apparently, oh, there. All the way in Idaho. Yeah. Anyhow, I'll play with that some other time. Oh, you can eat. Oh, that used to not be there before. We can do it so that we could do it by low bed, bulk carriers, flatbeds. Do we want to do a container chassis, refrigerated or insulated? Oh, that's interesting. Livestock. Yeah, I was going to say there's not a lot of that. Oh, in Montana. That's definitely in Texas. Nope, Montana and Arizona. There's only 2 jobs in the whole game where that will happen. Yeah, anyways, I'm wasting time. All those little extra details that I haven't looked at in a while with the recent changes to the game over the last several months. I'll have to look at that on my own. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end it here, to be honest. This is a good place. Right in the middle of the rain again. My goodness. Oh, little lightning and thunder. Ooh, I like that. Gonna have to save that for my next playthrough, because I love storms. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. If you didn't like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs down, and I'll pick you up. You'll be in one of my shipping containers, and I'll drop you off in a random state you won't even know where you're at. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be great. Wow. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.